guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. In today's video guys we'll be working on a Mazda 2.3 turbo engine guys. If you have a Mazda CX-7 or Mazda Speed 3 guys and you're trying to locate and replace your knock sensor, stay with us guys and we'll explain what needs to be done, where it's located and all that stuff guys. We'll have more than 200 videos on this car, this engine, and any car we get to the shop. Why? Because our mission guys is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video and drop a comment below. Let us know if the video was helpful or not, so we know what guys, if we can be helpful to you. So that knock sensor guys, it's very hidden location. This engine is not very easy to work on. This is a replacement engine, so we're making quite a few videos on this one. We have a low mileage engine here that will go in this car because this original one was overheated. Now let us guys explain to you what needs to be done. First step guys, okay, we will need to remove the intake manifold in order to get to the knock sensor. So stay with us guys, we'll start on that, and once we remove the intake manifold we're going to explain where the sensor is located, okay, and how to replace it. We have the car on jack stands, okay, and tire chokes on the back so it doesn't roll on us on the left and the right side. That way we can access underneath and we'll have more room to work with. Once you jack it up, all you have to do, go under the vehicle now. You need a 12mm, okay, 12mm socket, and right there in the middle there is one bolt on the radiator. Get gloves, eye protection, make sure the car is cold, because if it's hot that coolant can severely burn you. Okay, start removing the bolt, and once you remove it, coolant will start coming out. Okay, check it out now. Okay, perfect. We'll just let it drain now. Next you want to go ahead and open the radiator and more will start coming out. Check it out. Pretty fast, right? Okay. So this is the coolant drain plug, okay? It's plastic, so you have to be careful how you get that thing tight. There is a rubber seal here that you need to inspect before you put it together. Always check that, because otherwise you can develop a coolant leak and that could eventually overheat your car. So the coolant's still draining. We're getting probably about 6.5 to 7 liters out of it so far. You can see it's greenish in color. It's pretty much stopped now. Just a few drops here and there. We're going to put the plug, pull the bucket out and see what it looks like. But pretty much guys, that's how you drain that coolant. You have to be very careful how you get that screw tight, because this is plastic screw. Do not over tighten it. Okay. So here you're supposed to have two clips. Ours are missing. You just remove the clips and pull that cover out. Okay, the whole thing just comes out. That's where your intercooler is. Whoever worked on that thing in the past, you can see they lost the bolt, so they installed new bolts. They're missing one nut right here on the intercooler as well, so people are not very careful when they work on things. So 12mm, 14mm, excuse me, 12. A nut here, one on the back side, okay, right there. And this one we have to do it with a wrench because we will not be able to. One is missing here. After that we need to disconnect this hose on this side and the hose on the other side as well. Again guys, all the tools and parts that we use will be listed in the description of the video below for your convenience. So this nut is coming out now. We need to remove that hose. Okay, right here now. So this is with a 10mm socket now, or a wrench. Okay, perfect, this one got loose. One on the back side. Okay, we got that hose clamp loose. One more on top here. Okay, pull that hose out. Now the bottom one as well. Could be a little bit stuck. Okay, we'll just slide this hose out. Okay, like that. Now let's see if something else is holding. We'll try to pull the intercooler up. Okay, it's just stuck in the hoses. Need to get the bushings out. Okay, this hose still holding a little bit here. So which means that thing will need to come loose a little bit more. So we'll get both of them loose just a little bit more. So we can make sure that we don't damage anything. Perfect. Okay, let's see if this one. Okay, great. Now you can see how easy it slid out. We have the one on the back side now, holding just a little bit. Okay, and the intercooler is about to come out. Okay, next we'll just remove the wiring harness for the ignition coils one by one. So you can see 4 ignition coils, 4 wires. If one of them is stuck, push it in, then push down and pull it out. Okay, more wires there. This one is not out all the way. Just okay, it's stuck. Right there is one little bitty tube that we need to press in with a small screwdriver. I'll pry the piece up a little bit. Okay, perfect. You got stuck there. Okay, this wiring harness right here, that's one big clip. It's not gonna work like that. We have to do it by hand. Okay, push down again, push in, and then disconnect it. Okay, like that. Now we have a few holders. Let me get the clip remover too, so we can pry those open. Okay, perfect. Now, even if we want to, we can disconnect all the wiring harness. Okay, you can see from right here. Now you can disconnect those hoses from the intake, or we're going to disconnect them from right here. Okay, from what I can see, this thing will be stuck really big time, because you can see how the hose is deformed. So we'll actually put the clamp on. It will be easier if I go ahead and remove it from right here. You can see that red thing. Okay, you need to press the red ring down, okay, with your fingers, and one person pull it up. Okay, just like that. Now we have one more on the bottom here that we need to disconnect the same way, or this one we can disconnect it from here. It's up to us. This one will be easier to disconnect from here. Okay, perfect. You can see just like that. Those hoses are disconnected. So we have 7/8 wrench now. We need to disconnect, I believe this is the EGR tube there. So eventually will come loose. That thing is pretty tight, believe me. Okay, you can see towards the end it starts going way easier than before. When you put that thing together, you always have to make sure everything's aligning really good, you don't have any leaks. And towards the very end you can do it by hand. Okay, you can see just like that. So 8mm socket, we're going to remove one bolt that holds the old dipstick towards the intake manifold. Okay, we get it loose and let's see if we can remove it by hand now. Okay. Almost out. Perfect. This is it. This is the bolt. We have one more 8mm that holds that cable there. So that's what we'll be doing next. So we have a second one there now. Okay, second bolt. So we will remove both of them, and that way that mount will come off. Okay. Once it gets loose, so kind of like get the socket only. Okay, this is one of the bolts. Now we have one more, the one on top. Okay, let me see if I can. Grab it here and just turn it with my fingers. This is the second bolt. Okay, and that bracket now, you can see it's loose on this side. So we'll proceed with the next step. We will remove a few bolts from the intake manifold with a 10mm socket. Okay, you can see we have that bolt right there. It's a little bit of sunshine, so we're trying to keep it in the shade so we can show you a little bit better. Those will be super tight. Okay, one here, one over there. Between these two there is one more. Okay, it's down here under that relay, that valve. Okay, almost we broke loose, but we cannot turn the ratchet. We need to use the extension for this one, or a little bit shorter extension maybe. We have one more hidden there. Okay, we got this one loose, this one there as well. Okay, let's see on this side to see if we have one more here or we don't. Okay, we have one more here hidden, and this is behind the power steering pump. Now for the intake, for that last bolt, it's under the power steering pump. We will need to get the pump loose. You can do that without draining the oil out of the pump. You can just get the pump loose off the bracket here. I think it has 3 or 4 bolts. And you can just slide it over a little bit. In our case, we'll remove it because we'll take the engine apart, so we'll show you how to do that. But the only difference is because we'll disconnect our power steering lines now. So once you remove this cover right here, you can see through the right wheel with a 14mm wrench, we're going to get to the tensioner pulley right there. We're going to turn this thing clockwise, and when you turn it clockwise, okay, the belt will get loose. And I'm going just to slide it off the water pump here. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'll get it off the little pulley, okay, right here. Perfect, and it came off. You can see it like that. Now we can go ahead and actually remove it from the power steering pump, from the AC compressor down there. Okay, now we need to go to the tensioner pulley, remove it from the tensioner pulley, and the crankshaft as well. Okay, it's a very limited room here. So come underneath, pull it here through the pulley, get it out of the crankshaft. Now from the crankshaft, okay, right here, just like that. And then we can pull it up, and this is, guys, your belt. So with the belt out of the way, okay, we need to get a 17mm socket, and we need to go ahead and remove that bolt here, okay, to get that power steering line loose. Now this one will have 2 lock rings and 2 lock washers, kind of like flat washers. Do not lose them, because if you do, you're going to leak oil out. It's recommended to replace those every time you remove it anyways. They're made out of copper. We'll disconnect our wire just by pushing up, okay, like that. So with 12mm now here, okay, we have 2 bolts on top that we need to get loose. And after that, I believe we have only 1 more on the bottom, maybe 2. I don't remember exactly the design on this one. We've taken quite a few parts, but after a while you forget. Okay, perfect. We're going to put this bolt here so we don't lose it. We'll remove it so we can access the bolts. So next, in order to drain the power steering fluid so we don't make a mess everywhere, there is one hose right there, and our fender liner is messed up, you can see. So we're going to disconnect that hose now. There is a clamp, and that way our oil will come out. It's very important to bleed your power steering later, and we'll have a video how to do that, because if you don't bleed it the correct way, okay, you're going to severely damage your power steering pump, and you need a new pump. Okay, what we can do, if we open it on top, probably it will come out a little bit faster. Okay, we'll just leave it open. So the third bolt is on the bottom. Okay, you can see right there. It's a chaos. That thing is so inconvenient. So we'll try to do it by hand. If we move the power steering a little bit, you can turn the bolt by hand probably. Okay, and you can see this is the power steering pump with the reservoir now. Now you can see you didn't have to drain the power steering pump and disconnect this line, because you can just move it and get to the bolt, which is located, okay, right here. Okay, this is the bolt for the intake manifold. But in our case we'll remove it so we can finish with the power steering pump, because we'll be removing timing cover later for timing chain replacement as well. So in order to disconnect the power steering now, we need to disconnect that hose, the bottom hose, so we need to move the clamp down. Okay, you can see we slid the clamp down. We use these pliers for that. Now the hose is a little bit attached to the plastic, so we have to be careful, okay, not to break the power steering reservoir, because you can replace those with power steerings that don't come with the reservoir and the one that come with the reservoir. So depending on whether you want to reuse your power steering or not. Okay, it came out, guys, and this is your power steering pump with the reservoir right here. Okay, we're removing the last bolt now. Not the last one, we still have one more, I think, two more hidden, and we'll show in just a second. But the last one towards the top side. Perfect. Okay, so now with the 12mm box, offset box wrench, we're going to remove that bolt on the side there. It's next to the EGR pipe. So we'll remove this one. I think we have one more on the bottom and we should be close to removing that thing somehow. Unless something else is still holding somewhere. After that, we just have the one on the bottom. Once we remove the intake manifold, we're going to show you where exactly all the bolts are, so you know what to expect, where to expect to see those bolts, because even though it's a big space here, small 4-cylinder engine, the way it's designed, it's a little bit hard to get to things. Mazda and Ford are known for that stuff, and pretty much that engine is developed with Ford together. So one more bolt. Okay, it's going sideways, this way. Okay, you can see the bolt spinning through here. Okay, this is the bolt. So we'll go ahead, remove this one now. It has a little bit of kind of like corrosion, you know, the aluminum, how it turns that whitish film. So it's a little bit hard to turn. Then I think you have two glides, okay, that go in the cylinder head. They will be probably about that long. We'll need to disconnect some wires, most likely as well. But let's see if that will be all the bolts holding the thing. I remember some of them used to have even a mount on some Mazda's metal plate that holds the intake towards the engine block. On this one we didn't see it. I don't know if people removed it or not. Okay, it's almost out, pretty long bolt. Okay, and you can see how the intake all of a sudden moved out of the back. So now let's see, okay, what else is holding it in place. Because like right here, it looks like some cables are holding it. This is the cable that we need to disconnect now. We'll need to use the clip removal to, okay, let's see if we can pull that thing out. Okay, perfect, came out. Press down there. Those sometimes will break, the clips. Okay, so now in order to disconnect it, okay, press down and pull it apart. Now let's see if anything else is holding it here now, and if that intake will come out. Oh, it looks looks like. Okay, we still have the EGR pipe here that we need to slide out. Okay, so this is the EGR pipe. So just pull it out. Okay, it's out all the way now. So let's see what else is holding here. And we need to disconnect, I believe this is the map sensor here. Okay, so, okay, what we need to do, press in here and pull it out. Okay, you press in here and then you disconnect it, pull it out. We have a hose here too, so careful now. Okay, we need to disconnect that hose. Okay, this is a soft hose. So we'll see if we can lift it up a little bit. Okay, like that, and disconnect it from the clamp. Okay, right here. Okay, this one. Okay, this hose is disconnected now. Okay, let me just push it a little bit more so to know that it's not holding for sure. This clamp, it's not super tight. Okay, perfect. Now let's see if we can move the hose to pull it out. So this hose is still pretty stuck. What we'll do, we'll remove the sensor with 8mm socket quick. It's actually 7, my bad. So we'll remove it, that way we can get more access to the hose. Everything is so tight, be prepared to break your hands working on this car. Okay, perfect. Okay, we just pull it out like that. Now this is the hose. You can see how much more room we have. So I think we just broke it loose, it came loose. All we have to do is just pry it out. Okay, now let's see if that thing will actually come out of the car. You have to be very careful, gentle. Okay guys, and the intake is out of here, as you can see. That's one complicated thing to do. They're usually not so complicated, but this one on this Mazda is quite complicated. So the knock sensor, guys, is located right here. Okay, you can see. Now, the fuel rail, you do not need to remove the fuel rail. No, don't remove it. Why we removed it? Because we made a video how to replace fuel rail and injectors as well, so it's on the channel. In addition, guys, okay, with the fuel rail, I will not be able to show you where the sensor is located and how to remove it. That's why we removed it. So this is your knock sensor, guys. All we need now is a 10mm socket, guys, okay, and we're going to go ahead and remove that bolt. Okay, this one will be probably tight, like everything else on this car. Everything's super tight. Okay, perfect. Came out. Okay, this is the bolt. Now this is the knock sensor coming out. It comes towards the bottom. Now we need to go ahead and disconnect it, guys. Okay, this wire right here, this is the one for the knock sensor. So let us explain you now, guys, how you need to remove that thing. Right here you need to press down, okay, and pull it at the same time. Okay, if it hasn't been removed, that thing will be stuck. So we'll try to pull the wire a little bit this way so we can get a little bit of a slack. Okay, I removed the bottom part. So now we need to disconnect the top one. Okay, from that bracket with the with that tool, clip removal tool. Okay, perfect. It came out, guys, and this is your NOx sensor coming out of the car. Okay, the clip is still stuck there, so it needs to come on in a certain angle. Perfect, just like that. This is, guys, your NOx sensor. You can check out, guys, in the description of the video below where we buy our replacement parts from and where you can find them. So hopefully, guys, the video will be helpful to some of you. Please hit that subscribe button for more videos and see you guys next time.